Welcome back to Grow Joyfully Home and Garden. Well, today I am in the main garden trying to clean things up, trim things back, keep planting things, weed, fertilize, and everything else you can think of in between. This lettuce has really gotten too old and it's kind of bitter, so I am going to pull it out and use it in the compost pile. That way nothing goes to waste. And right here I saw on Just Angel that she often uses any of her stuff that's left over from her plants or what have you and makes a compost tea out of it. So I'm going to try that too. So thanks, Angel. Anyway, this bed's looking better. It was being taken over again by the ground cherries that went to seed here. So I've pulled those up. These are supposed to be flowers here. I've got a row of carrots and a little tiny row of bunching onions that I planted over there, and believe it or not, they're coming up. They usually don't come up and do very well for me, but they are. This is my first planting of beans. Not all of them came up, so I will replant in the spaces where it did not grow. I have Clancy potatoes. As you can see, they are volunteers, and we'll just let them grow out their life cycle and eat what potatoes they leave. There's some coriander there, and I believe that is some chamomile. So I will pick the chamomile and take it in and dry it. So that's what I'm up to right now. I'm in the process of redoing this bed, resetting it, and I had to replant some tomatoes there. Very discouraged with my tomatoes. Hopefully I feel different in another 2 weeks or so, that they have finally rooted and taken off and they're doing well. This lovely thing here is a penstemon, and there's a little bee right, if the camera will focus, right in there, and more bees flying around. So staying busy trying to spend more time in the garden because that's what we need. But I'm not going to waste this beautiful lettuce. I'm going to take it over to the compost pile and make some wonderful dirt. So thanks for joining me. Let's get started. One thing I've noticed so far about this very mild winter is that we're having a lot of pest pressure so far. Some of the bugs, I don't even know what they are. Let me take you over to the rhubarb. Had to water these Golden Glow, my mother's beautiful flowers. But right here, something is doing a very terrible job on my mom's heirloom rhubarb, and that's not okay. I've just sprayed it with water, Dawn, and neem oil. Looks like, can you see right there? That could be the little poop from the bug, or maybe that's the little bug itself. But I'm going to plant some marigolds around these plants everywhere in the garden to see if that's going to help. I really hope it does. As I was pulling up this lettuce, luckily I saw an ugly wasp on the lettuce and I didn't get stung, but he is no longer with us, and I decided I better put gloves on. We have so many whitefly this year. A lot of pests this year. We usually don't do too bad. A lot of slugs. Those are the main things I'm seeing. But I'm going to plant some nasturtiums right here in this space. First thing I'm going to do is remove this bachelor button. Why, you ask? Well, because it's way out here and those flowers are way over there and it really bugs me. So we'll pull it up, take the dirt off of it, and we'll put it in the compost bucket. Nothing goes to waste. And then that way I have more space for the nasturtiums to grow. I would rather have my hands in the dirt, but because of that wasp, I'm a little bit leery right now. But I will definitely take them off to be able to plant the nasturtium seeds. Do not plant ground cherries where you don't want them forever, especially if you let them go to seed. They're very nice. I don't like the taste or texture, but other people do, and they sell pretty well down at the farm stand. But they definitely spread, so make sure you grow them in a pot, or you're okay having them forever. So I'm going to plant a jewel blend nasturtium and mixed color marigold, because they're both pretty good at discouraging pests. The reason that the package is all wrinkled and bumpy is because it's either in my back pocket or it's in my garden bag. I'll plant a few marigolds through here. Push them down carefully. Not too far. Alright, where did I put the other ones? Oh, there's a caterpillar, and I don't think he's a good one. What do you think? Good or bad? I'm afraid he's going to have to go bye-bye because I suspect him. Lightly cover them up, and now we'll put nasturtiums in amongst them. I always overplant and use up too many seeds, so I'm going to try to restrain myself and plant them realistically. Okay, now it's time to get a tag to let me know what I've put here. First, I watered it in. Everything needs to be watered in when it's planted, even if the soil is fairly wet. This is cilantro gone to seed, and it will be growing coriander seeds, which I use in pickling. I got all the lettuce pulled up, and the weeds pulled up that were in here. Things smoothed down, and it's already been amended when I first planted it this spring. So I'm going to replant it with some lettuce, and this time I hope that I'm more diligent and I use it better. But it did not go to waste because I put it in the compost pile, and it will become very beautiful dirt for me. I'm going to plant some mesclun, some sweet salad mix. Okay, so it's the next day, next morning, and I'm having breakfast here in the greenhouse, plus my herbal tea. I just looked at the temperature for today. Right now it's 57, and it's supposed to only get up to 67 today. So it's kind of cold. So if you hear something in the background, I have the little heater on here in my greenhouse. I wanted to share with you that I spent a little bit of money for my birthday and ordered some seeds. Now it's too late to use most of these seeds. All of the tomatoes for sure, and of course that's what I ordered. I am just stocking back up for next year. I think I ordered some basil and something else, so let's just see what we have. Beautiful. I think I had one Lucid Gem tomato grow this year. I have one plant around here somewhere. I really hope it grows because it's very beautiful. Kind of strange looking in a way, but what a conversation piece. This one is an indeterminate, and it takes, let's see, what does it say? Trying to read without my glasses is not smart. Here we go. 75 to 85 days. So we'll see if that one grows this year. It's my new one this year, and so is the Mad Hatter. So the Mad Hatter, isn't that gorgeous? Is a determinate, and it takes 70 to 80 days. It's my first year for this one, and it's very beautiful. I ended up with 0 of these this year. I used an entire pack. I replanted and I replanted, and I got nothing. So I won't even be able to show you what they're like. This is a completely new one. Cherry Falls cherry tomato. It's a determinate, and they use it for growing in containers or hanging baskets because it cascades down, and it looks very beautiful, as you can see right here. So that's going to be fun. And it's another determinant, which I want to focus on more. Here's this strange one. I think I might end up with 2 plants that live this year. And if you can pronounce it better than me, have at it. Werokowai. So I just stopped and looked this up, and it is a Maori word. I'm assuming from New Zealand area. And it means red-yellow, and you pronounce the W-H-E-R as fe, F-E-H, and the W-H-A-I as phi. So you pronounce it Ferokowai. Ferokowai. So the W-H's become an F. So there you go. I had to look it up. That's a real head-scratcher. And at least now I know why it sounds like it sounds and where it comes from. But I'm excited about this one. It is an indeterminate, but it's a dwarf indeterminate. So it only gets up to about 2 feet tall, I believe. 2 to 3 feet tall. Yeah, there it is. And it takes 95 days to maturity, so it's going to be a little while. The size of the tomatoes. Okay, sorry, I just have to get my glasses. Can't see anything. That's the sad thing about getting older. You get blind, dumb, and stupider. Okay, there we go. So, 2 to 3 feet tall. And the fruit can be up to 12 ounces apiece. It's dwarf indeterminate, obviously, as we found out from Google. This is from New Zealand, so we'll have to see how that goes. I had only about 3 plants that grew to maturity, and one is in a pot outside in the courtyard, and it's getting taller and it's doing much better, so I'm excited about that. So I wanted to have more of those seeds. And of course my tried and true old German. It's an indeterminate, a big slicer, takes 90 days. It is so delicious. Really wonderful all-purpose tomato. Now, I was out of seeds for this one, Black Sea Man. And it is a big slicer. What the heck? It says it's a determinant. I'm so glad I ordered it again because I did not realize that. Okay, so now we have a beautiful black-brown slicer like a Cherokee Purple, but it's determinate. That is fabulous. 75 to 80 days. And the tomatoes grow up to 8 to 12 ounces. Earthy taste, striking appearance. This is great. Another determinant. Okay, San Marzanos. Had a terrible time growing them this year. So I reordered 2 of those. I only ended up getting 2 successful plants out of them. They are indeterminate and they take 85 days. So I got 2 of those. And of course I had to stock up on Amish paste. I was pretty much out of seeds. My daughter bought me one at the local garden nursery. And then I have these 2. And it is an indeterminate and it takes 85 to 90 days. It's a really big, beefy paste tomato, and I highly recommend it. And I already went over that one. Okay. Then I also bought some more rattlesnake pole bean. And you know, something I didn't know before, but a pole bean is really an indeterminate, and a bush bean is a determinate. So if you want to think of it that way, they take 60 to 70 days. It's a pole bean, and they're very beautiful to look at. They have purple streaking on it, but once you cook that, that purple goes away. Anyway, it's a very interesting and lovely bean. I went over that one. And then I bought some more basil. 2 basils. Because I love basil, I love growing it in the garden, I love smelling it. Then when it's mature, I will harvest it, wash it really well, and put it in my dehydrator. I often use it when I'm making tomato sauce in its dried form. I could be wrong, but I thought I read that it's safe to use dried herbs in your tomato sauces, but not so safe to use fresh ones. So that's kind of been what I've been sticking to. So anyway, that's just a little seed haul. Pretty exciting. I love getting seeds in the mail. I don't know about you. It's one of the most exciting things that can happen. I have to get outside and finish planting corn. And I'm really glad that the temperature's lower today, because yesterday it really wasn't that high. But being right there in the direct sun, on top of that black weed fabric, it was too hot for me. So I only got 2 rows done. And it's very slow and painstaking for me because it's hard for me to get up and down on my knees. So it's this whole thing. But I have about 4 more rows to plant, and I've never planted it in this area before. So it's kind of the old railroad tie garden off the main garden. So we'll have to see if it even works. I also bought myself a new garden journal. Now I generally use just a dollar store notebook, but when I take it around with me and it goes in and out of my garden bag and it gets wet and all sorts of things, then it just falls to pieces. I think I really want to try to keep it nice because it's so pretty, but that's not really realistic. That's not what a gardening journal is for, in my opinion. I remembered to bring out my tripod. If it's not warmer in the direct sun, I'm going to go get a coat. I never used to get cold very easily, but now I'm getting older, and I do. So I'm just going to come out here in the sun and hope for the best. My husband is still working hard on getting these paths finished. He's been hauling bark mulch and hauling, spreading it out. It's getting close to being done on this area. Wow, it's cold, even if I am in the direct sun. And here's this cute little wild flower garden here. But beyond that, we still have to cover it with the weed fabric and then get some more bark mulch down. So all in all, it's looking so much better. Hopefully the grass will die out along the beds here. I bought some weed screen that I think is about 2 feet wide that I'm going to try to put along the fence here and cover up that ugly grass. I have this side of bed number 3 to finish, and I still have a lot I need to plant in bed number 6. My green beans are looking pretty good. This row right here only grew 2 bean plants, so I'm going to replant them. And this bed over here has not been tamed and done. It's never looked that bad before. I planted zucchini out there, and out here is where I'm planting corn. It doesn't look very good or impressive, but I think once the corn grows and whatever else I'm going to plant in it grows, it'll look better. But I'm so grateful there's no weeds. I have 3 pots with 1 or 2 strawberry plants in each one. We've got 1 little strawberry off. I'm not very good at growing strawberries. And the blackberries are going to be crazy again this year. The grapes are doing really well, although something's eating it. I have to spray them. And my mom's flowers are growing well. A lot of the things are looking okay. Okay, I have my coat, an old blanket to set on. I'm warmer, believe it or not. It's so cold. And I got to get this done. So, here we go. I don't know if you can see those. I'm not sure what model they are. Looks like maybe 3 Blackhawks. We have an Air Force base not too terribly far from here. About 40 miles away. And it fills me with both pride and dread. So I wonder what's going on. There's 3 of them. I'm only focusing on one. 1, 2, 3. Bye guys. Have a great day. Well, I planted 6 rows of corn, not in a block shape like they suggest, but more in a rectangle shape. And it's just going to have to do. I don't know if it's going to get enough sun and if it will grow there happily, but you never know till you try. So that corn is done. The wind is still really blowing. Still cool unless you wear a light jacket. And now my daughter and I are going to take off to our 3rd son's house and go help him with his garden. So thanks for coming by to visit today. I really appreciate it. I love watching your videos and seeing what you're doing, and it looks like you're awfully busy. So keep motivated and keep on trying and grow something beautiful. And we will see you on the next video. Thanks for stopping by.